Oh my god, it's happening. The latest PTR patch just dropped and shields have been nerfed. I repeat, shields have been nerfed. This is real. Let's take it all the way from the top. This video is brought to you by Aimlab, the ultimate FPS training solution. Play like a pro now at aimlab.gg. So before we get into the individual hero changes, we gotta make note of another big change with this patch as well. The prior nerf to how much damage armor reduced, which was at 3, has been reverted. So now we're back to armor damage reduction at 5. Armor in itself can be pretty confusing to understand, so in a nutshell, it's more resilient against shotguns like Roadhogs and Reapers that shoot a bunch of pellets that do small damage individually, than it is against high damage projectiles like Hanzo's arrows or Widowmaker's sniper shots. Basically, armor has been buffed by about 20% or 2 points. Alright, now to the hero changes. Arisa. The balancing team seems to be reallocating a lot of her power from her shield and instead moving it to Arisa herself. While we're on the topic of armor, Arisa is seeing her base armor increased from 200 to 250. It's a pretty significant amount, but something that she might just need, especially with these following nerfs. The shield is impacted in a huge way, getting its health pool reduced from 900 points to 600 points, which is literally 2/3 of the shield's original health. This should make it way easier to cut through her barrier and make for more shield downtime, so Arisa as a whole will be way more vulnerable. To remedy that a little bit, we saw the armor buff, but also, while she's shooting or using her fusion driver, which is her primary attack, the movement speed penalty has been reduced from 30% to 20%, making for literally more horsepower. She's gonna be schmoovin', and she's also not alone. This focus on buffing movement speed is something that we're seeing with other heroes this patch, which we will address later. And finally, for Arisa, since she won't have her shield available nearly as much, her Fortify cooldown has been decreased from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, allowing for a quick escape from a sticky situation should she need it. Overall, these changes will be pretty good for Arisa and make her less of a one-shield pony, and instead a more active hero on any team, being able to move quicker to and from objectives, and overall stay in the fray for longer without just being a shield. Now to Sigma. Once again, we're seeing this redistribution of power, and Sigma's nerf might just be the biggest of them all. His experimental barrier's health pool has been reduced from 1500 to 900. That is a 40% nerf on his shield. Coupled with that, the rate at which his shield regenerates has been reduced from 150 health per second to only 120 HPS. Remember that term HPS, we're going to be using it a couple times throughout this video, and it's a good one. While it may seem drastic to hit both the shield's health pool and the regen rate at the same time, 120 HPS for a 900 health shield will have the shield at full health more often than previously, so in a way, it's made to keep Sigma mobile, have more downtime on his shield, and have it be strong when he actually needs to use it. With that increased downtime, his kinetic grasp is seeing a buff, with its cooldown going from 13 seconds to 10 seconds, and the ratio at which he gains shield for absorbing damage is up from 40% to 60%. These changes make sense and will, once again, redistribute his power in a way that's both healthy for the game and healthy for the character. For all you Reinhardt fans, this will be a good one. His barrier has seen some nerfs, going from 2000 health to 1600, but of course it's not as massive as a nerf as some of the other heroes that we did see. However, his movement speed penalty while having the shield up has been reduced by half. He is so fast when he uses his shield now, it's kinda nuts. The need for speed has been felt by the Overwatch team, primarily by Jeff Kaplan, and Ryan is a quick boy. And to add to it, his passive, Steadfast, which reduces the impact of knockback, has been tuned up, seeing now a 50% resistance to knockback. Now, Ryan is going to be frontlining in a way that he hadn't been able to before, faster than ever, and once he gets in your face, it's going to be hard to get this hammer swinging German giant out of it. Now, before we break down exactly what these changes mean to the meta overall, there were a few more, less drastic, but still important changes to a couple of heroes. Let's run through them. Moira. Moira's seeing her biotic grasp healing reduced from 80 HPS to 65 health per second, which is not bad by any means. She's able to heal large groups of people at once, and so 80 HPS was a little insane. This nerf should mitigate her power a bit and still make her viable. D.va. D.va's defense matrix cooldown has been decreased from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, allowing for more uptime on the defense matrix overall. It's a good change to make her more impactful, as she'll be able to use her defense matrix more and more, and it's a very, very strong skill. Widowmaker. Widowmaker's grapple is seeing a cooldown increase from 10 seconds to 12 seconds, as the Overwatch team is now predicting snipers to enter into the game in a bigger way, with shields seeing such huge nerfs. Torbjorn. Torbjorn's overload ability, which used to be his ultimate and is now one of his abilities, has seen its cooldown decreased from 12 to 10 seconds, the second change we're seeing to Torb in a pretty short period of time. This will definitely help the Swedish engineer with staying alive and doing strong damage. Genji. It's a name that we've long forgotten, a ninja of times past. Guess what? He's being buffed in this patch. Not in a huge way, but we're seeing his ammo count for his shurikens increase from 24 to 30. The dev team cites an increase in average hero survivability causing this change, so hopefully it pans out well for Green Robot Boy. We do miss him. And last but not least, it's Zarya. Her particle cannon's secondary fire is seeing a buff in the form of a 25% increase to its explosion radius, and the ammo cost per secondary fire being reduced from 25 ammo to 20 ammo. This is good for her, as each explosion from her secondary fire will now do damage in a larger area, and instead of 4 projectiles per clip, she'll be able to launch 5. Each clip has 100 ammo. These are significant changes to shields across the board. It's a huge patch from the Overwatch team, and it's gonna drastically shift the meta. Already in scrims and on the PTR, there's a crazy variety of team compositions that are being experimented with, but here are a few things to note. Dive will most likely be viable once again. Winston saw a buff to his shield recently, and these armor changes will be directly impacting his survivability as a tank that literally has to just jump into the fights. After not playing Winston at all in the postseason, Mono, one of the original Winston gods, is gonna be having a field day. Dive also means the likely return of Sabiolbe's Tracer. It's a thing of beauty, and with an increase to her damage fall-off range not too long ago, she's going to be in a prime position to rise to prominence in the upcoming meta. And to be honest, watching SBB's Tracer is something that I've missed a lot. Couple this with D.va's changes, and you can already see the picture being painted. But Dive will not be the only composition in rotation. Zarya and Rein were a potent combo ever since the game's release, but the recent changes make for a more mobile variant on an age-old classic. Hanzo will see a lot of playtime, because honestly, nothing goes better with a Grav than a Dragon, and the huge chunky damage from sharpshooters like Hanzo and Widowmaker are gonna have a strong spot in the upcoming meta. Honestly, this patch is a breath of fresh air, both for the game and for the NYXL. Being confined to playing shields with a team that feels so much diversity and strength in hero choices felt suffocating for a bit, but things are definitely looking up. This patch is also bound to make your competitive experience that much more enjoyable, and you can expect a lot of people to be playing more and more Overwatch when this patch goes live, myself included. The potential for theory crafting here is limitless. Shields are gone, and there are so many strong team comps that can become the meta. We'll keep you updated on the latest news in Overwatch, but for now, hit that like button, subscribe, and make sure you hit the bell icon to be notified on whenever we put out our newest content. I'm Jimmy, or Jimbasco, with the NYXL, and I'll see you guys next time.